Some stories start with a lie so big, it takes 15 years to unravel. Kelly's mum was stolen as a baby, taken from her Aboriginal family, raised as someone else's daughter, denied her own name before she even had to say it. And somehow, generations later, that same theft tried to find its way into Kelly's life too. A secret buried until she was old enough to drive. A mother she lost before she ever really got to know her. A marriage that started like a fairy tale and ended with the lock screwed out of her own front door. This is a story about what gets stolen. A childhood, a truth, a sense of safety. But it's also a story about what can't be taken. Because Kelly is still here, still fighting, still refusing to be the one who stays quiet. This is Kelly's story. Welcome to Still Standing, Still Speaking.
Kelly, welcome to Still Standing, Still Speaking. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm honoured to be here.
No, I'm so excited to have you, and I love what you represent. I love your vibe. We've connected obviously through socials, through our stories about healing and finding ourselves and speaking out loud. So let's dive into it. Your mum's story starts with her being stolen from her Aboriginal family as a baby. When did you first understand what that meant? Not just as a fact, but as something that shaped everything after it.
Yeah, look, I think over the years it landed more each moment that I thought about it deeper and deeper. It wasn't like an instantaneous thing.
Yeah.
Although the moment that I found out, it was kind of like just the tower had just fallen down and just continued to fall on top. And everything that I thought that I knew about everything in my life, I had no idea. It's like I had to rebuild again from the foundations of nothing to my identity then. Yeah.
So it was like stolen from you, basically.
Stolen from me as well. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like you had no identity.
No, what I thought that I knew about myself as well. Like I had no idea. It was just false and fake, and it all just fell away. And then I just was left standing there, literally. Who am I? Where do I belong? Where's that come from?
So take us back. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Growing up, I thought I lived in a house with two parents, and an older sister.
Okay.
So, and then I got to an age where I needed to have identification, obviously, to get a license or any kind of ID like that. And that's when my grandmother decided, my grandmother, I thought it was, decided to tell me that she wasn't my mum, that she was my nan, and that my sister was the mum. So, yeah, that was the moment. That was the earthquake shake.
Absolutely. So all this time you thought the 15-year-old living with you, with your grandparents, who weren't your grandparents?
Oh, so then later on down the track, so deeper delving into the once you find one thing out, you question everything. My mum always knew she was Aboriginal. So she would always say, I know I'm Aboriginal, I know I am. And those people would say, no, you're not. No, you're not. They'd laugh it off and brush it off. So then, yeah, finding out later on that she was actually Aboriginal, that she was actually stolen from her mum, it was a really great accomplishment for me to do that for her and for my family.
Of course.
But it also was very, detrimental to my psyche. Like I just, it also was like angry and I've also felt very isolated and we were in New South Wales. Like my family's all from Broome, my Aboriginal family. So not having anyone to connect with straight away was quite difficult. And then to prove that to mob back home, like they were skeptical as well because it'd been so much time. She wasn't here anymore. I had to fight for her, so that was quite difficult too, yeah.
So now, what do you know about your Aboriginal family and culture now that you didn't growing up?
So I knew nothing growing up.
Yeah.
I was always connected spiritually to things and places, especially.
The body knows.
100%.
Yeah.
100. It's in my DNA. It's in my DNA. So I've always wanted to be grounding, and I've always wanted to go to the ocean or go for a bushwalk or just sit and be still. And that's the thing that would always bring me back to center when I was feeling unsettled or heightened or dysregulated. And I can only say that that's because of my culture. I always was guilty too, especially when I first found out that I was Aboriginal, with confirmation. Am I Aboriginal enough? I've only been Aboriginal 5 minutes. Like, those things go through your head, and do I have the right to know that? Do I have the right to be included in that? And all these other things that came with that, was attached, and there was a sense of, I'm not good enough to be Aboriginal, sort of, to speak. So, but when I went home and connected back with my family, I was met with absolute, come here, you're our family, we love you. And you know, there was never a doubt. As soon as we were together, it was like the chain of the should be put back together.
Because that's your family, right? And all those years, I'm sure, like, I can't speak for you, but you always feel that, do I fit in? Am I, like, why do I feel different?
That's exactly right. Why do I feel different? I don't belong anywhere. I feel like I'm not connected to anyone. My grandparents had passed away when I found out my Aboriginality, and my mum had passed away at a young age. So I literally was the lead in the family. I'm the oldest of 5. So it was my mission to go out and find and my purpose. And I believe that my mum, when she passed away, she gave that gift to me to then go into that world and space and go and find who I am and where you're from. So that's what my purpose became. And I was so hell-bent on doing that, and I never gave up. And it took me 3 really, really tough years to do that, as well as all the struggles in my personal life with my kids and my ex-husband, and being a single mum, then still on that journey of truth-telling, you know. So, but yeah, I will say that when I met them, beautiful people back up in Broome, my family, who I'm so honoured to be part of that family, I never had to question the connection. I never had to question the love. And I felt overwhelming love and connection when I went home. And then my Uncle Phil, he calls me a lot, all the time. Yeah. And all he wants me to do is get them mob back home. Come on, get them kids go back home. and he even rang me the other day, and he always seems to ring me when I'm having a bad day. So I believe that that's been sent for me to have that little message too.
Amazing. Just the acceptance, you know, because I think, especially as a young teen, like, that would have been so detrimental for you, like, and traumatic, and wow, mind blowing.
Yeah. Mind blowing. It was a journey. Yeah.
You were told a lie about who your mum was until you were 15. What do you remember about the moment the truth finally came out?
Actually, a core memory. So it's like it happened last week. I remember not being ready for it, number one, and just we were sitting in the car in the Coles car park. We just got in the car from doing the groceries, and my nan hopped in the front seat. I was in beside her, and my 2 sisters were in the back. And out of nowhere, she turned around and she said, "Oh, I have something to tell you. I'm not your mum, I'm your nan." My mum wasn't even there to share that with her, so she took that away from her as well. And I remember crying, not me. I got angry. So my go-to, my fight or flight is fight. And I just remember shutting down, and I was shut down for many, many, many years after that emotionally, and become very hard, and I become very negative about the world. And it's like finding out about, you know, the tooth fairy or something, and then you start to question every other thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But before we went on air, everyone, you were just telling me, I don't know if you want to talk about this, that your nan and your pop weren't your nan and pop. Do you want to talk about this?
Sure, yeah, why not? Yeah, so down the track later on, so after that came out, everything else came with that. So then my mum actually wanted to build a relationship with me, but I was just so angry. And I directed my anger towards her. A lot of therapy later, and I can see things very differently. After my grandparents passed away, because my mum would always say she's Aboriginal, and I felt that too.
Yeah.
So then I started to question, they're not my real parents. They're probably not even her parents, right? So after they passed away, still being loyal to them to the day that they died, the moment they passed away, I went and did a DNA test, and that boom, opened up all the secrets. And
Mind blown.
Mind blown. So many questions answered. I just wanted to know if I was Aboriginal. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah.
But the questions that came with that, the answers and people that I became connected with, DNA, I wasn't prepared for. So that was a whole nother journey that I started to go on.
So did your mum know that she was stolen?
My parents, she passed away with the lie. So
She don't.
Yeah, she didn't know.
That is horrible.
At my point, whether she put that in, her soul came into me at the moment she died, I don't know, but it was from the moment that she died that I went on that mission to find her family and her identity. Because I didn't feel like I had my identity either. I felt like stripped from that too. So I did it for her, but I did it for me. I did it for my family, my kids' kids now. And then I went on that journey as well. And
Yeah, which we'll touch on that. I just can't believe that. So your mum took to her grave, God rest in peace, not knowing who her parents were. How did these people take your mum?
People.
My grandparents.
Oh, how did they? So we don't know exactly, right?
Okay.
The history's not there.
Yeah.
We've pieces together, my family back in Broome and what I know down here. But they were travelling around Australia.
This is your family in Broome?
No, my we'll say white grandparents. So my white grandparents. And there's a background story to that too. And I don't even know if we've got time to share that one today.
Yeah.
They were on the run already.
Oh, my goodness.
Because my pop had weekend visit with his son and didn't want to give him back. So they took off with him and travelled around Australia, staying at all these different spaces, caravan parks. I found this out along this journey as well. They got to Darwin. They befriended my nan. This is what I think's happened. She's gone back home to her older kids in Broome and left my mum in the care of my nan, who's befriended her. And then when she's returned, they've been on. They've taken her.
And back in the day, well, not really back in the day, because, things like that are still happening. Children are getting taken away from parents.
I'm 44 years old, and she was only 15 years older than me. So, yeah.
Wow. You lost your mum at 18, before you'd really had the chance to know her as an adult. What do you wish you could ask her now?
That's why it made me cry.
No, tissues are there.
I know she's proud of me, and I know that she's guiding me through my life and helping me through all these challenges that have been placed in front of me. I have no doubt about my ancestors protecting me and my mum watching over me. I want to know about her. I would love to know who she was and what made her who she was and what she loved. I know she loved dancing and being silly and music. I used to watch her get ready with her skinny, high-waisted jeans and her frizzy hair and her curly eyeshadow and fucking her thin eyebrows. I remember all that stuff because she was an 80s baby, like 80s.
Yeah.
I was an 80s baby, so she was getting ready in the 80s, and it was all like the Bangles and Madonna and Cyndi Lauper. And
I love
so
that.
I remember all that music and her. I have some really good memories of her with all this. She'd have silver bangles, 100 of them.
You remember those?
Yeah. So, but I want to know about her personality as woman to woman. Like, I didn't get to enjoy and meet her. I didn't get to know that woman. So,
well, you saw her as your sister, right?
yeah, but briefly, she was in and out of the house. We were really kept away from her on purpose because I think they kept us away from her to hide the secret.
And did you have any resentment towards your grandparents?
I do now.
Yeah.
I can't get past that now.
Of course.
People will say, "Oh, they gave you a good life and they had so much love. We had basic. I don't remember getting many cuddles.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching my siblings. I don't remember getting told I was loved. I remember we always had a good meal on the table. I remember our washing was always done.
Yeah, okay.
I remember we had a good bedtime. We had wake up. We had a good routine. It wasn't hers to take.
Absolutely.
It wasn't theirs
to take away from you, to take away from your mum.
And then make my mum watch that. Like, I'm okay with that.
And especially not even knowing, the poor darling.
Knowing that we're her children and having to watch that.
So I'm a little confused. Did she know that you were her daughter?
Yeah.
Okay.
She knew we were all her children. She gave them to them because they said, go out, live your life, you're young, we'll raise them. I don't know about the lie part, about calling her name and calling them mum and dad. I don't know how that element of it came into it. I can only think that it was for her best interest. They would have said that. But that would have been the most heartbreaking part of her life. Because I can't imagine as a mother, as you would too, not watching your children call somebody else mum and dad and the yearning. You're standing right there. You're actually playing with me. I'm your daughter. You can't say that to me. I'm mum. You can't say that was stolen from her too.
That is just awful. That is absolutely horrible. What she must have felt, and then I sympathize with you, growing up and not having that, because like you said, you can have the basics and have your food and food on the table and your clothes washed, but a child or anyone needs love, and no other love than a mother's love. You know what I mean? Especially for a daughter. So that really hits me.
Of course. It's tough. Like, we need our mums and our mums need us.
Of course, they're a part of you, like we grew inside them, vice versa.
Yeah. When I look at my hands, like, this is another thing I used to do with my feet, and I'd look at hers. And this was before I knew she was my mum. And I remember this one time looking at my feet. We had the same feet, same hands. And I said to her, oh, look, we've got the same hands and we've got the same feet. And I remember looking at her, and I didn't know she was my mum then. And the look on her face, the colour just drained, and the sadness in her face, I understand that now.
Yeah, wow.
And that makes me really sad.
Of course. Oh, my goodness. I'm getting goosebumps. Like, you can't make it up.
That's why, like, your kids are looking at your hands.
Yeah.
Their hands. Why I look like at least I knew who my mum was. Like, I've never met my dad. That's a whole other story. But to know I belong to her.
So did you ever, did something in your gut always feel like a connection with her? Like, did you know? Because I think right?
There was a bond there.
Yeah.
There was a bond there, and I got that. I got that love.
Yeah.
So if she'd give me a cuddle, I would feel it deeper. If she would interact with me, I felt it deeper. I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
I just thought, this is. But looking back now, and even things that still come up now for me, like it's hasn't. Well, what am I? 44. I was 18 when she passed away. So the last however many years, little things still come into my mind between us, moments, and it makes so much sense to know that it's because we were mum and daughter.
It's unbreakable, right? Yeah. And that's proof. That's proof. Like what you have lived, you cannot break a bond of a parent.
Integrating into your connection through a whole body, soul, spirit,
our whole being.
Yep.
Yeah. So you've described the last year as the mask finally slipping, gaslighting, control, being locked out of your own home. What was the moment you knew you had to leave?
My emotional safety was no longer there. I felt really unsafe to my core. And that's something that I've never felt before. I
I just felt unsafe. I felt unsafe psychologically, spiritually, physically, and I knew I had to just be.
Sorry, can I just interrupt you? This is with your husband, right? So this is your first marriage?
Second marriage.
Okay.
Second marriage. So I've been through all this before. Yeah. And never have I felt my psyche to a degree of destruction that I felt when I was living in that home at the end of that.
So can you take us there? What happened? How did it start?
I don't know. It's just it happened so rapidly. We have had a wonderful marriage.
How long were you married for?
We were married for 4 years together for 7.
Okay.
Going on, 2022 we got married.
Okay.
It was a fairy tale. It was a fantasy. It was. I thought after all the things I've been through in my life, I've found my person. Yeah, wow. And everyone around me was thinking the same thing. And I cannot put my finger on what's happened. I just believe that certain people came into our life that he invited in that were evil.
Not good for him. Yeah.
Bad intention.
Yeah.
They've seen our beautiful life and the energy that we have.
Of course.
And they wanted in on it. But they weren't willing to give back. They were there to suck us dry from our good energy. And Kel just went, I'm not fucking doing this.
Yeah, wow.
And when I started pushing back, party's over, get him out of the house, I don't like the energy.
Yep.
They got into his head.
I think the audience really needs to hear this though, because like you said, a lot of people stay, so there was that pivotal moment for you where you just knew that you had to walk out and you had to leave because this is about, and I think that's what a lot of people, or women especially in sort of DV relationships, they just stay.
They stay.
Yeah.
I think they're actually, it's very brave to stay because I did stay for a long time, knowing it was not safe, begging this man to change and come back down to earth. And this is not what we want. This is not what we've chosen. We've not talked about this. We've got dreams. We've got ambitions. We've got, we want to grow our business. We want to build on our empire. Like our kids, everyone around us, we were like the epiphany of a good couple. Like everyone looked up to us and we role modeled that. And we were very proud to role model our love story.
Yeah.
And then I'm not sure what happened. We got it to this point in the road and it forked and I couldn't get him to come down the road with me.
So you just think it was from these bad choices or, because I think sometimes you always know if you're with a narcissist or if you're with a controlling person or blindsided. Yeah.
I see the good in everyone.
Yeah. And that's.
You try and change people for the better.
Yeah.
It's not our job.
Well, you can't change someone if they don't want to change, doll.
They need to already be changed.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I know that now, but me being the empathist that I am and me wanting to give positivity and expect that back, I think my expectations of our marriage were too high.
Yeah.
And he was never going to meet them, and I think he struggled to meet them, and it just slipped, the mask just slipped, and he allowed this distractions to come in, and I became the target of you're against me, and that's who I became, the villain in his story.
Of course, because they can no longer control you, so you become the villain because they don't accept, that they're the problem. So you had children?
Not together.
Oh, okay.
No, so we were a big blended family.
Okay.
Beautiful. And we had some wonderful times as a big blended family. I've got grandkids on his side who are they'll always be my babies. I'm going to be their nana forever. I'm not going anywhere. So I'm committed to them and I love them with all my heart. And then I've got my children and grandkids, but he was their nana. It's actually very sad.
And so this happened at the beginning of this year,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I left the home at the beginning of January. Yeah, and then it just, I've been in a women's refuge. I was homeless before that. Meanwhile, he was sitting up in our big house on the hill with his friends. Nothing really changed for him. He just kept going down a really, really steep decline and spiral. And I still tried to get him out of that. I would still try to get him out of that now, as stupid as it sounds. Because that's my nature and that's who I am as a person, and I have so much love for that man. Like we've had so much together, and still fighting for that, but I know now that I need to just fight for our family and what we built together. I need to keep that safe, and that's where I'm at currently.
Wow. So you were in a women's refuge. So you had to just pack your bags. Well, look, I commend you, first of all, for just going, this is no good for me. I need to look after me. And you do what you got to do, right? You go where you have to go. But in this case, did you not like go to the police or, yeah, I was going to say, okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, okay.
I say I don't feel safe. I can't go back there. Oh, you can go back there and change the locks and just move in and out. I can't do that. It's not safe to do that. That's going to cause problems.
Where is the system?
Well, it starts there.
That's right.
That's where it starts.
I mean, we look at these people, the system, as our protectors.
Yeah. They protected you.
Where did they protect you? Where have they protected me? Where have they protected the millions of people going through things like this?
And it was almost like, I remember one police officer saying to me, he had my car and I wanted my car back. And the police officer said to me, if you keep doing these things, you're borderline committing a crime.
Yeah, I love that. I love that for you. Yeah.
It's not paying me anything. I've got no money. I still have to go to work every day and show face at work, and threatening my job, threatening that he'd filmed me and was sending the footage of me carrying on. He did actually send it to my children. He sent it to my friends. He sent text messages, get her out of the fucking house. All I was trying to do in that whole time was beg my husband to come back to me and be the normal person that he was before this. I don't think that's it now.
And you were looked at as the villain, as the crazy, as the potential criminal, right?
Well, she's not well.
Oh, she's not
really
well.
Worried about her.
Yeah.
Mental health. That's what he would say to my friends.
Yeah. Mind blowing. It actually enrages me.
Yeah.
It enrages me.
It's crazy.
After everything, the stolen history, the early marriages, control, you're still standing at 44 and calling yourself a warrior, which you truly are. Where does that strength actually come from day to day?
Ooh. Because the choice of not being strong, that option, it doesn't entertain my thoughts. I feel like my purpose is to share my story and my experiences and my journey so far, and use that to empower women, or anyone. It doesn't have to be a woman. Empower men, empower anyone that's struggling. Pull from your strengths. You've been given these things in front of you because you can, not because you want to.
Yeah, what's the saying? God gives its hardest battles to the strongest people.
And I know I feel protected, and I know that I'm not silly. I make good choices, and I want to give back with my pain. Like, that is what I want to do with my experiences, is to use it in a way that empowers others. If I can walk into a room and share, and when I walk out, I leave you feeling better, I'm happy with that.
That's amazing.
That's all I want to do.
It's pretty fulfilling, hey?
Absolutely.
What would you say to anyone that's gone through some hardship in their life, how they can turn their pain into purpose? Like, what's that drive behind you?
I think it's how you look at things, right? So you've got to have perspective. And this is something that I used to try and now that I think about it, teach my husband, because he's very one-track mind, right? So I would say you could tell 7 different people the same thing. 7 people are going to hear it differently.
Yeah.
And that's perspective, right?
Yeah.
You have to understand each person's perspective and respect it. You can't expect everybody to be on your level experiencing the same thing that you're experiencing.
Or to think the same way that you think, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So to be able to have perspective and appreciation for everyone's going through stuff, right? I'm just giving my perspective. I'm just giving where I've come from and hoping that it resonates with people in a way that can empower them to then rethink about what they're going through and go, yeah, well, I'm going through that, or that happened to me. And then the way that I look at it is to not think for me, to think, what can I do with this now?
Right. That's exactly right. Because you can either sit in it and disappear, or you can turn it into something bigger.
Yeah. I like to think there's 2 fundamental types of people in the world. And they are, I am the thing that happened to me, or I will not let the thing happen to me define who I am.
100%. Or shape who you are. Like we said last night, or like you said last night, your quote, system upgrade.
Upgrade.
Which I absolutely love. Like that really just like, I love that. I love that you're so strong and you're so resilient, and you are a warrior, and I have so much respect for you. And this is what Still Standing is and Still Speaking is about. Just coming here and telling your story, being a voice for people, because you don't know what someone's going through, you know, and if you can just give them that little bit of hope. I know for me, ever since I went public about my personal story, it's given me purpose. Like I'm a broken person, like I said to you, you know, how do you ever move on from, like, for instance, I don't see my children. It's been 6 months. This has given me bit of hope. And I think we all need hope, especially in this world that we live in right now. And I also believe that if you do good, good will come back.
100% agree with you, Sabrina. It's about the energy that you project.
Yeah.
It will find you.
100%.
And it will come back. And that's negative as well. So I always come from a place of giving. When I wake up in the morning, my purpose is to give, because I know it's going to come back. And it does. It heals us.
Yeah.
It's people say to me, I think you need to take a break from social media. No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this is my medicine.
That's right.
And I'm giving it to people, and they are using it to find strength in themselves. It's purposeful.
Absolutely.
And then it makes us heal. It's helping us heal. And I wouldn't have gotten through some of the things that I've gotten through if I didn't have this platform.
Yeah.
It actually empowers me. It makes me feel strong to use my voice and to know that I'm impacting people in a positive way.
Every version of you they tried to erase, you built a warrior out of it. And just before we go, because this is my little thing that I do, would you mind just looking into the camera and just letting everyone know why you're still standing?
I'm still standing because I want to use my voice to share my experience back to you guys, to make you feel strong enough to stand up for yourself, believe in what you think is right, and don't let anybody tell you different.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much for being on Still Standing, Still Speaking. Thank you for supporting me and for reaching out and telling me your story. And I can't wait. Let's keep in touch, and we'll definitely have to bring you back because I want to hear, there's so much more of this story.
There's so much more. Thank you so much for having me, Sabrina.
Thank you. Thank you. Give me a hug.
1, 2, 3. We are still standing and still speaking. Thank you, darling. Thank you so much.
Still stand, still speaking, still